10.
I'm trying to sit
No,
upright.
Oh no, that's good. That's good. I once got a dish that it was this big.
Oh, it's a bit in your face.
Cradling the baby. Diarrhea. This has to be correct. If it's not, Christmas is cancelled.
Well, it's a pretend moustache. Do I look like Poirot? If you fancy, seeing a nice handsome man, I'm really sorry.
Should we get our crackers and give them a pull?
If just
Right, do you know what? That's it.
I'm just being honest. Softens it right up.
I remember when my mum got a microwave. It was,
Microwave?
Yes, microwave. So what did you think of that Risalamon then, Kay?
Well, seeing as I just ate my body weight in it, I'd say that was a winner.
It's our holiday special. Oh my goodness.
Nearly Christmas.
How exciting. It's also nearly
Very
2019 too. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
That's crazy stuff. I'm speechless because of this show. My goodness. There is just so much coming.
Right, okay.
Right now.
Today, you mean?
Well, not next week. Although there is something coming next week. It's called Christmas.
It's called Christmas.
Yes.
It is.
Folks, it's our holiday special, and it's literally packed to the gunnels. Do you know what that means?
What is a gunnel?
What's a gunnel? Someone out there knows, and you're now...
Something to do with a gun?
Well, of course it can't be. Gunnel, Gunnel.
What is that?
It's not a gun haul. Packed to the gun halls.
No.
That sounds very posh.
But it's got the word gun in it.
Well, I know lots of words
I
do.
wonder if it was something to do with packing the big cannons. Because that's what they used to do. Pack to the gunnels. No. I think it's something to do with ships.
Yeah, I do.
I think it's something to do with ships and boats.
Yeah.
I wonder if...
No, because that's different. I know about that.
No. I wonder if it's like putting stuff in the hold. I wonder
possibly.
if something's called a gunnel.
Yes. Less
Someone
ships.
let us know.
Gun holes. Packed to the gun holes.
Maybe it comes from that. Gun holes. Maybe it is. The holes where the guns come out. Have we just totally made that up?
If we haven't, that would make total sense.
It would make total sense.
It's jam-packed to the gun holes down there.
Yeah, and people have just...
And over the years, it's
gunnels.
become gunnels.
Is that right?
To be fair, if you were a sort of swarthy seaman, you might say gunnel. The gunnels.
The gunnels.
You might,
You would.
Oh my goodness. It's a whole new show.
I think we've just either made that up completely or stumbled across the correct reason.
I'm convinced this has to be correct. If it's not, Christmas is cancelled. Oh no, it isn't. Today's show, holiday special, tried foods from across the world, but before we try them, we've got to go to the shops, find the ingredients and make them, all coming later. Baker Bear's Christmas party. There'll be music, there'll be reminiscing about Christmases past, there'll be games, and if you've ever wanted to see Kay try and tell me without physically saying the words when a child is born, do not miss later in the show. You would never in your wildest dreams have expected to see what you're going to see today.
I think it was very good.
It was perfect.
I think it was a perfect interpretation
It was
of
perfect.
childbirth.
Oh yes, it was.
Not my childbirth.
It's sort of, it ruins that song, doesn't it? When you actually think about it in its actual, when a child is born.
Yeah, well, childbirth isn't really a pleasant...
It isn't.
No.
So, thinking of it in its literal sense.
How did we get onto this? I don't
It's such a lovely song. I love
It is
that
a lovely song.
And I love the way he sings.
Johnny Mathis.
Oh.
Yeah.
Christmas isn't Christmas.
You've got to have a bit of Johnny Mathis. haven't
You most certainly
absolutely.
do. Kay has 6 finished items.
I think that's right.
That is just shocking.
I've been on a total end of year finishing thing and I've done pretty well with it.
I have 0.
Let me down. And you've got to finish that thing before we go away.
Yes. But I've been obsessed with something else. More
I don't
about that
care.
later on. You are being introduced today to the King and the Queen of Hallmark Christmas movies.
Oh, yes.
About 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We totally ran out of things to watch.
We did, yeah.
And I just thought, we both just thought, do you know what?
Let's just stick on some
Hallmark.
trashy Christmas films.
Yes. And we've watched a lot of them. Every night when we sit down and have a knit, we start one night. We never managed. It took us 3 nights to watch one.
Fall asleep. Terrible.
It was only an hour and 20 minutes long, this film.
I know, kept falling
still,
asleep.
It took us 3 nights. But that's fine, because it's literally all we've been watching. And I have a little...
That one last night was terrible.
It was totally garbage. That was called Christmas Connection. And I was
honestly,
excited.
Go and watch it. It's
it had
dreadful.
Tom Everett Scott in it. I'm sure that's his name. He was in That Thing You Do. Great film. Tom Hanks movie.
I didn't recognise him at all.
I did. I've seen him in that film, but seen him in 1 or 2 other little things as well.
It was supposed to be finding a love interest type thing, you know. There was absolutely no spark of chemistry between these two characters at all.
Nothing. So, bit of a shame. And I think that's one of the problems with these Christmas films. Sometimes people literally phone in their performances. They do not put in any effort.
There was a young girl actor in it. Oh, my goodness.
She was like an automaton.
Yeah. It was the most wooden delivery of lines I've ever seen.
If you want to talk about another really bad Christmas movie that we've seen this season, The Christmas Train, with Dermot Mulroney, and also the
had
I can't
loads of
remember her
famous
name.
people in it.
Danny Glover was in it.
Glover.
Joan Cusack was in it.
Yeah.
And the lady,
the woman
can't remember her name.
No, I can't remember her name.
She's married to Brad Paisley, and she was in Father of the Bride.
Father of the Bride. The daughter in Father of the Bride. The bride.
I thought, this will be great. Put that on. It really wasn't. No. It was terrible. But we
enjoyed them all. We enjoyed this terribleness.
We've seen some good stuff.
We have seen some good stuff.
Like Christmas at Holly Lodge.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one.
I was verging on tears the whole way through, wasn't I?
I also watched one by myself which had Lodge in the title.
Right.
Christmas Lodge.
Right.
I watched Christmas Lodge one afternoon when I was just working on a design, and that was also truly terrible, but brilliant at the same time.
We watched The Christmas Angel.
Oh, that was dreadful.
With an angel that went on top of the Christmas tree, and I have no clue how they attached it.
How did they attach it?
You would literally have needed metal hydraulics to hold it up.
It was a solid wooden angel that was about this tall. And it somehow miraculously appeared at the top of the tree.
If I can't get a tinsel little thing on top of our tree, there's no way they got that.
I think it had some kind of superstructure at the back.
Yes, but that I quite enjoyed that one. Near Christmas Cookies.
Oh, that was terrible.
Christmas Cookies had in an actor that Kay said, and I quote, he's worryingly handsome.
He was. Honestly.
He makes me nervous how handsome he is.
He was very pretty boy. If you fancy, seeing a nice handsome man, I'm really sorry. Then go and watch it. It was just not right that he was so handsome. It was model. It looked like a model. Do you know, like a catwalk sort of model looks? It didn't look like somebody who should be in a Hallmark Christmas film. So I'm so sorry.
Right. Do you know what? That's it.
I'm just being honest. Dan's now left me because I said that man was far too pretty for his own good, but he was very pretty.
Lovely.
He wasn't like a sort of rugged, outdoorsy type man. He was
like me.
No, you're not rugged, outdoorsy. You're more of a gentleman, charming type person. I've said that to you before.
Dashing and handsome.
Yeah, this fellow was somebody you'd expect to see modelling Gucci in a Christmas film. It's terrible. And I said, if she doesn't grab him with both hands and run off, then she's bonkers.
Now, I do have to say that one of my favourite Christmas movies was Snowed In Christmas.
Which one was that?
Snowed In Christmas starred the lady, I think she's called Joy Lenz or something or other. But she was in The Christmas Secret that we spoke about 2 or 3 years ago. That's a superb
Christmas
film.
Secret's excellent.
And Snowed In Christmas, she plays she's a journalist.
That's right.
And they have to go to somewhere like Colorado or something or other.
Yeah.
And the two of them are sent.
Yeah.
And
they can't stand each other. Of course, you can see what's going to happen.
Yes.
They hate each other when they first go. Very competitive, journalists.
Yes. And by the end, they've fallen in love.
Of course.
And I'm now going to let you know why it's my favourite of all the Christmas movies we've watched.
Why?
Because obviously, what happens in these movies is they meet, they fall in love, and then they get married, don't they, Kay?
Yes.
Yes. Her name was Jenner Hudson. His name was Kevin Jenner. So her married name is Jenner Jenner.
We couldn't believe it when you realised partway through and you went, hang on a minute. His surname's Jenner.
Did no one stop and
They're
think?
calling her Jen.
Jen Jenner.
Jen Jenner.
Jenner.
Oh, you just couldn't. You'd have to keep your own name, wouldn't you?
Neil, not only is this our holiday special, but it is unbelievable. I'm so excited. Blizzard.
Oh! Are we going to show those now?
No.
Oh.
We'll show them later on.
Okay.
You have to stay tuned in. We established in the last show, or maybe even the show before, that this is Bakery Bear season because our advent calendar has been flown. My heart just skipped a beat because not only are we talking about the Blizzard socks today, but also our Christmas edition of Knitability is out today.
Oh, is it today?
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. So, yes, we're slap bang in
I've
the
done
middle.
a wide variety of things in my musings.
She has festive musings.
Very
Yes.
festive.
Holiday musings.
Yes.
Now, it is Bakery Bear season because of the Advent calendar, and the Advent calendar, as you know, culminates in day 24 when we launch the Platinum Collection for 2019.
Yes.
And the very first pattern in that collection, yes, I said that right. We will be I'm drunk on Christmas. We will be showing you today, and it's so gorgeous.
Yes.
I really.
Well, I shouldn't. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
it is.
It genuinely is. The reason why I love
particularly
this
lovely.
design so much is it is a winter. It is what you wanted it to
Yes.
be. It's such a wintry sock.
It's very wintry, yeah, and it's. I mean, it's festive, but it's also just wintry.
Yeah, and that's why I love it.
Yeah.
Those are my favourite things at this time of year.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Right.
So that's coming later.
Yay.
Do not miss it. The most exciting What's on Your Needles coming your way because every project I'm going to show you is a garment.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Gosh.
I know. Check me out.
Mine are not.
Well, that doesn't matter.
Well,
I am the
I
yin
suppose they
to
could
your
say
yang.
they're garments for my feet.
The thing is, though, as we established yesterday, Kate pulled out this gorgeous purple cardigan.
All right.
And, you know, she says, I'm not a garment knitter. She has been.
I have knit a lot of garments in the past, yeah.
You have.
Yeah.
You know, so that's just not where you are right now.
No. I think the thing is, I think I'm more of a process knitter. So if I saw something that I really, really wanted,
You're not a
in
process
terms
knitter.
of a garment, not a process knitter.
You're a product knitter.
Product knitter.
Yes, there you go.
Wrong word.
It's fine.
Then, you know, if I saw something I really,
Thank
really
goodness I'm here.
wanted, then I would knit that thing because I wanted the thing, not necessarily because I wanted to knit that garment.
But I have good
That's-
news because I'm slowly warming up to the prospect of knitting things flat and seaming.
Oh, God, thank
So-
goodness.
So, you know, I'm sure, give me another month or two.
I think because there's obviously lots and lots of garment patterns that are in the round, but specifically what Dan wants is he wants like cables, or he wants lace, or he wants something going on other than just a lot of stocking stitch where it's knit in the round, and they're fairly hard to find, I'll be
Yeah.
honest. There's an awful lot of beautiful, gorgeous garments, but they're seamed, and I don't mind that. I'm quite happy to knit flat, but you're
Yeah.
like, I don't want to knit flat.
Well, I did a certain amount of flat knitting with something that I've done recently. I had to go backwards and forwards on something, and I said to you, it was when I was doing the top of the Samantha,
Oh, yeah, because yes, you do have to do a bit of flat knitting, don't you?
and I didn't have a problem. I didn't complain.
You
did I?
said that. No, you did say to me at the time you didn't mind it.
So
Maybe
I
it's
just
just
wonder.
a psychological thing.
I think it is. It's like this obsession with saying I don't like pearls.
Because
And I don't say that.
Yeah, but if it's a garment that's got lots of cables on, you're not going to have a completely flat pearl row. There's
No.
going to be knits going on as well.
The thing is, though, even if there is, once a flat pearl row is actually easier than knit one, pearl one, knit one, pearl one.
Yeah, because you're not doing anything.
Your yarn's all
You're
at the
just
front.
purling. I ain't got an issue with doing a pearl row. It takes a
Well,
bit.
I perceived that I
everybody's a
did
bit
have.
slower.
I perceived that I did have
Right.
because, you know, and I spoke at length about this in my article in Knitability, this issue. We are dictated to by society, and it's wrong. society tells us that we should like certain things and not like other things. And society tells us that we don't like purling. Well, actually, I do.
I quite like purling. I've not got a problem with my mum. I think my mum once said to me that she prefers to purl than knit.
Right. Go Tina.
Yeah, my mum's name is Christina, but a lot of people call her Tina.
I think it's time that we found out.
Yes.
Kay Jones, what's on your hook?
Well, I thought I'd just show you. I have made a bit more progress on my lovely crocheted granny stripe, and I realised when Dan was editing that I never actually even told you what this blanket was, but I'm presuming you all realised.
Can I ask a question about hooks?
Hooks, yes.
Can you get hooks? Because they've got like a rubber handle on, haven't they?
Some of them, this one does.
Can I see? So can you get hooks with like stuff on? You know, here.
You can get handmade ones. What do you mean by stuff on?
Like, could you get one that had like a Christmas stuff on it? You know, that looked Christmassy. Do you know what I mean?
Not unless somebody made it.
Okay.
Why?
Because that'd be cool. That'd be cool if you could. You know, when I think about the things that I like and the things that I collect and the things that we all collect, like that phase with the mugs and the Starbucks mugs and people wanting.
Yeah.
If someone produced hooks with all like different.
You mean like a big manufacturer?
Well, I don't care who it is.
People hand make crochet hooks. What people do is they'll get just the plain metal hooks,
right,
and then they'll polymer clay on top of it,
right,
for the handle,
right.
And I've seen those quite often.
I'm not a crocheter, right? But if there was a Star Wars hook, I'd want to get it.
I'm sure somebody now will want to make you a Star Wars hook. I'm certain. He doesn't
that's not
crochet.
Why I'm saying that.
Don't do it.
It's not why I'm saying that. But it is. Do you see how it's attached to our craft? And if you blend, there'll be things that you like.
It would totally make people want to buy them, because I know with knitting needles, it's the same thing with needles, isn't it? If you see a needle that's particularly pretty, if you like the colour of it, like recently I saw. Is it Hedgehog Fibres producing a set of interchangeables, and the needles are pink. They're metal, but all of the needles are pink. And I went on to have a look at them, and they were completely sold out.
Imagine if there was hooks with like Harry Potter stuff on.
Yeah, they'd all have to be handmade, wouldn't they? And then it's licensing, isn't it? You don't know whether.
Well, I think what you would need is
you could get done for copyright doing things.
Well, exactly.
Like that.
You could. You'd get nailed. So what you would need is you probably need a bigger company.
Yes,
to go look.
To then go and ask for the rights to do it.
Yeah. Because when you think about the links and how much people love things like Harry Potter and other things as well.
I'd totally buy knitting needles if they had some theme somehow in
the thing is, knitting needles is harder, isn't it, than a hook? Because a hook, there's more real estate there.
There is.
And the fact that it's plastic, you know, that's something that could be cheaply produced. It'd be cool.
You're giving some crochet hook manufacturers ideas now, aren't you?
If they produced a range of these with all Star Warsy themes,
you'd start crocheting.
I'd have them all, and then I'd be forced to start crocheting.
This is, I didn't say it last time, that's what I was just saying. I totally forgot in my excitement to tell you that this is a granny stripe blanket, and I'm following the pattern, as most people do, that's by Attic24. And it's online, it's a free pattern that you can find on her website. I've done a little bit more, and
that's marvellous.
I'll just unroll it. I'm actually doing a little mohair stripe at the moment. So I think I'd just started before. I was down here in this is the looping colourway, this bluey green. So I did a nice big chunk of that, because that's Bryony's favourite. And then I did some mohair. And then I went into, this is another one of my yarns, it's sugared, it's either sugared almond or sugared violet.
I thought it was violet.
I think it's sugared violet.
So do I.
This beautiful sort of lavendery colour with speckles. And then I've put in the little bit that I had left of Time Turner, which is another one of my colours, which is a Harry Potter inspired colour. I love this one actually. And now you can see I'm putting in another, you might not be able to see, but there is just another little mohair stripe going in there, because I thought it looked about time for another one. They look fairly regular actually, how I've been putting in the mohair at the minute, but that's not intentional. I'm just putting in a couple of rows whenever I feel like it needs a bit of a breakup of the colours. And one thing I'm doing that I don't, quite often with these blankets, it's people have used like every tiny bit of leftover that they've got, and they've maybe made it into a magic ball. So you might only get sort of half a row in one colour, 2 rows in another colour. So it's very random looking, and they're lovely, but I think I prefer something a little bit more ordered. Do you know, where you can actually see each of the individual yarns that you're using, because in those other ones you can't really identify. I think it's quite difficult to identify a particular yarn because there's only like a little bit, and I think it's a brilliant way of using up all your leftovers. I think that's fantastic. But for this one, because it has a particular purpose and it's for Bryony, I really wanted her to be able to look at it and say, oh yeah, that's BB's blanket there, and there's Remus, and there's Time Turner. You know, I really wanted her to be able to spot the particular colours in it. So that's why I've gone for these kind of bigger chunks of colour. And I really like how it looks, and I really like how the mohair just breaks up. Again, it kind of breaks up that busyness that these can sometimes have. And I really like that, and it's very tactile. So I'm really enjoying this, and I haven't picked it up for a few days, and that's mainly because I've been trying to get a lot of things finished off, but also I am trying to, and I have, and I'm also trying to sort of limit my time, because as I said before, this is meant to be a project that I'm taking away at Christmas, and it's going to be a nice thing to work on whilst we're away. But also I have been having some shoulder issues these past few days, and I honestly don't think it's the crochet, because I've been doing this for a couple of 2-3 weeks now and not had any issues at all.
But the thing that could have been how long it took to manifest itself.
Well, I don't know. I think it was that hat. I knit a hat on really big needles, and I'll show you in finished objects, and then I went on straight after that to work on a design that's also in not huge needles but bigger than I'm normally used to, and the yarn's thicker. And I just wonder if it's that. But there is a possibility it could be the crochet. So that is at the back of my mind. So what I'm doing is I'm waiting for my shoulder to completely get better. It's a lot better than it was. I couldn't move my shoulder a few days ago. So it is a lot better. I'm really hoping it's not the crochet, because I just love this so much. And if it means that I can only work on this half an hour at a time, then that's what I will do, because I would rather have little bits of time working on it and it take a year to finish.
Well, maybe that's what you should do.
Yeah, than it cause me some harm, because I know that it didn't bother me. I didn't have any problems at all when I first started working on it, but I did have a little spell where I was doing more of it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait for my shoulder to get completely better, and then just maybe I'll start off with like 15 minutes and then leave it for a day or two, make sure I'm okay, and then build it up, you know. And if I can get to sort of half an hour, 40 minutes without it bothering me, then I'm happy with that, because I can do a couple of backwards and forwards in half an hour. I can do a couple of rows in half an hour, and that is totally fine, and it'll make progress. If it's a present that's for next Christmas for Bryony, then that's totally fine, and I will enjoy working on it through the year. So I'm still working my way through my magic knot ball. I'm on the mohair at the minute, so I am cutting when I get to the mohair, because I don't really trust the knot on such a fine yarn. So I'm weaving in.
To everyone who's requested a tutorial about how Kay does her magic knot ball, it's coming.
Yes.
Oh yes, I think it's about the 3rd of January.
Right.
It'll be with you.
Yes. So I've still got a nice huge chunk of magic ball left, and this colour that's coming up is Fairy Garden, one of my colours again, which is one of my very favourites, so I can't wait to put that in. And I think the other reason I put mohair in is that I just think that's going to look so beautiful next to the mohair. You know, those colours. Oh, it's going to be so pretty, isn't it? Can't wait to do that. I don't know what's coming after the Fairy Garden. I've kind of been like digging down into the ball. Oh, I think it's pink. So I mean, that'll be really nice. It looks pink. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it, but I'm just being cautious with it, because I don't know what it is that's damaged my body. Yes. Dan Jones?
Yes?
What's on your needles?
My festive needles are full of truffle King Cole yarn.
Oh, now then you're going to love this yarn.
It's really good. I've got to say, I've knit a few rows with this now.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. It feels really good. It's easy to work up. There's nothing that I can criticise about this. And I also had some fun and games, positive fun and games, with the cast on, which I'll talk more about in a minute. And there was no issues with the yarn becoming sort of shapen and you know how before when we had that mess around with the Samantha on the top, and we were like ripping it out, ripping it out. Well, I probably pulled this out 3 or 4 times,
right,
as I was sort of getting used to it, just thinking, you know, I can just cut that bit off if it looks a bit rubbish, because I just wanted to practice the cast on, which I'll tell you about in a second. And it's fine. It was absolutely fine.
Okay, so Dan started a new garment and is knitting it in the same yarn that I'm knitting Dan's vest in.
There you
and
go,
this is why I recommended this to him. It's the King Cole Merino Blend DK. It's superwash, anti-tickle. It says on the label, that always makes me laugh. Anti-tickle. And the colour is truffle.
Anti-tickle, that sounds like a Justin Fletcher character.
Yeah, it does, yeah. Now this colour, I kind of struggled to find. I saw it on one particular website. I think I got it in the end from Wool Warehouse. I got it from Wool Warehouse. And it wasn't on some of the other websites, this colour. And it's very difficult to define it. It looks different in different lights. And I think it's called truffle because it kind of looks mushroomy.
Yeah, it looks purpley to me.
It's like a mauvey sort of colour. In some lights it looks very sort of more browny. It's a very difficult colour to define, but it's beautiful. I absolutely love this colour. And I just thought, oh, that is a jumper. It's neutral, but it's got some colour in. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't want, could have done grey, could have done like a beigey sort of colour, because I wanted something neutral. But then I'm thinking, I don't know, I think I kind of want something with colour in. So I think this is beautiful, beautiful colour. It's gorgeous, isn't it? I love it.
So what am I knitting? Well, it's a Michelle Wong pattern, and it's called Cascades. Or is it Cascades?
I'd say it's Cascades.
Oh, I didn't know if it was some sort of Mexican
Were
word.
you being serious then?
I didn't know.
It's not going to be Cascades, is it? It's Cascades, surely. He's winding me up. Is he winding me up?
You know how I've spoken at length over the last year and a half about garment patterns and, you know, good ones and bad ones. We spoke even last time about, you know, buying a pattern that we just had to discount straight away. Well, I love the way that this pattern's written. It's quite wordy, but it's not overly. You're told enough to be able to do what you need to do. And so far, there haven't been any assumptions taken. So I'm knitting the Cascades. It's by Michelle Wong, and I really, really like the way the pattern's written. It's quite a challenging cast on that, you know, I've messed up, so I'm going to need to redo it, but that's fine. I don't mind, you know. I'd rather try something new and get it wrong and learn from the mistake and then do it right, because I did quite enjoy the process of knitting it. It's a ribbed cabled cast on. I think that's what you call it.
Yeah.
And it's like the cable cast on, except you're ribbing it. So you're going in through the front and then you're coming in through the back. And I'd never done anything quite like that before.
I hadn't either.
And also, even the process of just getting it up onto the needle, I didn't even do that right initially. So, you know, because I was bringing it on and I must have been twisting it, even though it seemed... Because I was lifting it on forwards, but then no, it comes on the opposite way anyway to what I was putting it on. So learnt so much, and I strangely enjoyed it. I'd never tied a slip knot before in my life.
Maybe not.
Well, I have now because I did the one on here. So that was my first ever slip knot, and I was concentrating so much on getting that slip knot right. Also, I just messed it up. I was concentrating so much on getting that slip knot right. Didn't really leave a long enough tail to weave in at the end.
Yeah.
So, you know, learnt tons, and I'm gonna do the cast on the way it's written.
And I might try and find you a Chowgu needle.
Let's just talk about the needle for a minute. It's garbage. It's total garbage. First of all, the ends are way too pointy. Second of all, they're supposed to be metal, so they're slippy and they're not. they're gripping like crazy. And thirdly, the cable is just useless.
It's a higher.
So
sharp.
you're having to shove it around all the time. When I compare it to
ChowGoo,
they're a dream. This is not.
And we should say that the Cascades pattern is actually designed for a worsted weight, and this is a DK weight. So what we've done, it's meant to be a little bit oversized. It's about 3 to 4 inches positive ease, this garment. I decided that we would go down in needle size to match the DK, and I've been knitting with this recently, so I knew what needle size I thought would be appropriate, bearing in mind Dan's tight tension as well. And then I just decided to get Dan to knit a size bigger than he would normally knit. And even if it comes out bigger than, ideally I would like, I don't mind. I would rather have an oversized garment than something that's too small.
You can see there what happens.
So it's very, the higher cable, I think, for knitting something like this, where you're knitting in the round straight away, it is kind of rubbish, I'll be honest, because it's just so light and twisty. And it makes the whole thing really awkward to knit. So I do have ChowGoo interchangeables, but I couldn't find the right length of cable. I think you've got something on it already, so I need to look through your projects. Do you know what? I think even a wooden one would be better, a Knit Pro, because the cable's thicker.
Right.
So I'll just would you mind knitting with wooden needles?
Well, to be fair, I'll give it a go, because these metal needles seem to be quite grippy.
Well, high shouldn't be grippy. They're one of the slippiest needles I've worked with.
Compared to, and I'm knitting on, obviously.
That's ChowGoo, I believe.
That's super slippy.
Well,
maybe it's the yarn.
Maybe it's the yarn. I mean, I'm knitting this yarn with wooden needles, and it's perfectly fine.
Right.
I don't know. It's, everybody's different, and this just proves the point, doesn't it? How every knitter is so incredibly different.
Yeah.
Because most people, I think, would say that high-highs are very slippy, and I find them very slippy, yet you're saying that they're quite grippy, so...
Yes. Yeah, well, that's my experience of knitting. I mean, it's a funny one, because I've been enjoying every bit of it. It's been cool to do, so that's why I'm more than happy to do it again and to get it right.
I've got an old set of interchangeables that are Addies. They're very slippy, and the cable's much thicker. I wonder if you'd like those.
Well, I'll do what? How pointy are they?
They're not super pointy.
I suppose they want to be pointed to an extent.
Well, I'll show you afterwards. I don't know.
Dear
me.
But,
what a to-do.
Well, it's not really, because we know what I like, and that is the
ChowGoo.
ChowGoo.
I need to buy you your own set of ChowGoo, I think.
Well, do I need a set, or do I need just that one particular needle?
Well, for this you just need a particular size, but then how do I know that you're going to need that size? And whereas if you've got a full set of interchangeables, you've got all of the sizes, haven't you?
I think you can even tell just by.
So
the yarn's really good. It's King Cole, as Kay showed you, Merino Blend DK. The fabric looks really nice. I like how it's knitting up. The pattern is really, really well written. So I don't think I'm going to have any problem with that. So well written that I could read how to do the rib cable cast on and actually do it. So
they're very clearly laid out.
That's got to be a positive.
These patterns. It's Brooklyn tweed pattern, and they're really excellently laid out.
Next time you see that, hopefully I'll have made a bit of progress on the ribbon. But who knows, because the ribbon is twisted.
It's a twisted one by one, yeah.
That's fine, but it does take a little bit longer, I find. But it looks so good, doesn't it? You can't beat a twisted stitch. I did twisted rib to the top hat which I'm knitting, the colourwork hat. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And I just wish that I'd gone slightly long. Well, no, because the hat seems long.
No, you don't want it to have been longer. It is turning out to be quite a long hat, but it doesn't matter if it's slouchy. I don't mind.
What else is on your needles?
What else have I got in? A little Christmas bag. Gosh, I dug out this bag, and I made this. This is one of the very first bags I ever made. Do you remember this fabric? I can't remember the make of the fabric, but it's got snowmans inside. It's all the same range. It's got these lovely snowmans. It's got these lovely snowmans. And
Would it be a total disaster if I just did it on?
I told you to do that.
Well, why don't I do that then?
I did say to do that.
Why did I cast them on that then?
Because the pattern recommends you use a size smaller for the rib.
Right. But it's twisted and I'm a tight knitter.
Yeah, this was the issue. And we do have the right size ChowGoo red lace in the size up that would be used for the body. And I did say to you, look, forget that and just do the whole thing in the one size. Problem solved. So yeah, I made this bag ages ago, and I even made fabric pulls, which are terribly fiddly to make, but I obviously decided to do it to broaden my sewing skills at that point. And I love this little bag. It's just fantastic. I do like a drawstring bag, and there's no lining. And I think with drawstrings, I much prefer it not to be lined, because for me the idea is that it scrunches up small and goes in your bag. If it's lined, it's more of a bulky thing. So I just like a very simple unlined. When I say unlined, I don't mean lined. It's got lining. I mean interfaced. You know what I mean. So what I've got in here is some very special yarn that I've been hoarding for over a year, it must be, because I know that I thought about knitting it last Christmas and it was too precious. I couldn't bring myself to cast it on, which is so silly, isn't it? But I think we all do that, don't we? And it's some yarn from London House Yarns, and it's self-striping, and it's in the Yule Ball colourway. It's on the sparkle base, and it's got a coordinating mini. So it's obviously Harry Potter themed, Goblet of Fire, Yule Ball scene. And I just thought, a few days ago, I just had one of those days, and I just thought, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to go and wind that yarn, and I'm going to cast it on for Bryony, and I'm going to knit her a pair of socks over Christmas. So that's what I did. So cast it on, and I knit this bit I've knit just that night, and then I put it down to finish up some things, but I'm going to pick it back up now. So I've just got the rib and the start of the leg, but the colours are so lovely. It's so nice. And I've got coming through now, there's like a greyish blue and there's a red. And the colours are all taken from that Yule Ball scene. So I think this one is like Hermione's dress, this kind of pinky purpley sort of tone. This greeny colour, I think, is it Ginny? I think Ginny wears a dress that colour. We've then got, I think this is Ron's outfit. And then the black and the green, I think, is McGonagall, I think. I need to go back and watch that scene. But then you get a black mini as well for the heels and toes, which I quite like. I mean, I'm not a fan of black generally, but in this instance, I think it really works. There is a black stripe in here, so I think it really works to have that black. So I'm just knitting away, just normal 64 stitches for Bryony. I did 15 rows of a 2x2. I tend to do 15 rows because for no other reason than I get to 15 rows and think I've had enough of ribbing. I don't want to do any more ribbing, even though I think I actually do prefer ribs a little bit longer. I'm sure you all do follow her, but Amy Exterminate on Instagram, she knits the most beautiful socks, and she always knits a really long cuff, you know, and she'll lay out her socks and you'll see them all there, and I just love the way her socks look. They just look so beautiful. I have serious sock envy when I look on Amy's feed, and I always want to knit a longer cuff, but when I actually come to knit it, I'm like, oh no, I just have had enough. I just want to knit some stocking stitch. I could do with living next door to Amy and she could knit all my cuffs and then I could just carry on. The stripes are quite thin. I don't know why. I must have been knitting self-striping lately where the stripes are much wider, but these are only 4 to 5 rows. But that actually makes it really fun because very quickly you get into another colour. So I think it's going to go really quick once I start knitting properly on this. And I'm using my Chowgoo mini twists 2.25. In all honesty, these are the only needles I use now for sock knitting. I don't use any other circular needles. In fact, I went and bought a couple more pairs of these recently from Loop because they're just perfect. If you've never used these, it's the Chowgoo mini twists. It's the mini one, not the red lace. They are interchangeables, which puzzles me. Don't understand. I think I'd much prefer if they were fixed rather than interchangeables. I don't see the purpose really of it being like that. But they're fantastic. It's got the Chowgoo cable with the wire inside it, but it's super thin and so flexible, and there's no memory. They're brilliant. If you've never knit Magic Loop or if you've knit Magic Loop in the past using different needles and thought that's not for me, I would highly recommend that you buy yourself a pair of these and give it another go, because it transforms magic loop knitting, and Dan would agree with that, because you tried these, didn't you?
Yeah.
And it's totally different experience, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm rubbish knitting magic loop.
Yeah, but I think if you were using these needles, you'd feel much better about it.
Maybe.
But that
I'll tell
doesn't
you
mean
what I
have
struggle with.
to.
I struggle with, keeping it.
Oh, right.
No, you've got to keep it firm. And I just can't do that, especially when you move on to slightly bigger projects.
Yeah, I don't, if I'm working a bigger thing in the round, I will tend to use double points.
Is that different? I'm sorry, terminology I'm useless on. In the round's different to magic loop though, isn't it?
No, magic loop is the method. You're always knitting in the round.
Right.
With magic loop.
Okay.
Magic loop is the method.
So what's the method where, like when you're knitting a hat and you're just going, that's not magic loop?
No.
What's that?
Well, you're just working on a small circular needle in the round.
So it's not, so that you would say I'm knitting in the round?
Yeah.
Right.
Anything's knit in the round where it doesn't have a seam.
It's funny though that...
You're knitting a tube.
It's funny though that magic loop has a sort of method name, but that...
Because it's a very particular way of knitting, isn't it? Where you create these, know, when you're knitting, you've got the two loops, haven't you?
So this isn't magic loop?
No.
This is just knitting in the round?
Yeah.
Right. I like this.
You couldn't knit a jumper on magic loop. That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, it would.
It's just not possible.
You'd have to have ginormous
Well, I
hands.
say it's not possible. You'd have to have the longest cable ever, wouldn't you?
And you'd need long needles too,
There's no need to do it. There's no need to do it, is there? This, I think, was invented because there was just a gap. I think somebody saw a gap in the technique sort of market.
I absolutely see the obviously I see the benefit of it. You knit all your socks that way, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I do now, and I have been, I have knit in the past. I've knit on double points for socks for a long period of time, but these days magic loop seems to be the thing that suits me the best.
You have a gauge issue, don't you, when you knit on DPN socks?
Well, it's not an issue. it is different. I think everybody's
Is it tighter or
gauge.
smaller?
I can't remember. I think it's
I think it's smaller.
I think it's tighter. I think I knit tighter on DPNs.
I seem to recall that.
I think I do. But this is how the mini twists come. You get the cable and then you get the tips separately. And they are on the pricier side of needles, but worth every single penny if you enjoy magic loop. And what else are you knitting, Dan Jones?
Oh, that's interesting.
I said it the other way around.
That's a strange way of saying it.
Caught you off guard.
Yeah. I'm onto the corrugated ribbon at the top. I need to be super careful again with this.
Yes.
Because I'm sorry that I have to be super careful. If you want a close look at this, there's a special festive edition of Journey to the Centre of the Yoke coming on the 27th of December with me and a Christmas tree and lots of close-ups of garlands.
Oh, that's nice.
It is the ribbing that I did on the ends, although it's slightly different. Because, is that a knit one purl one?
Yeah.
This is a knit one.
Oh, right, okay.
But I suppose it would be, because otherwise it would suck in, and you wouldn't want that around there. And actually, so initially, I started off doing...
This is a knit one, you mean?
Yeah.
It's just all knits.
It's a knit one.
Yeah.
It's a new phrase.
It's not a stocking stitch, it's a knit one.
Yeah. See, I understand. Stop calling it stocking stitch. Say knit one, and I'm with you. Now, I'd only done this 3 times, because I'd done it on the bottom and I'd done it on the end of the sleeves. And then I get to here and I start knitting this, and I keep thinking I'm doing it wrong. Because
you're not purling.
Yeah, I keep looking back at the pattern.
You're actually doing colour work. It's just one stitch of each, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this is the Soldier sweater, of course.
Yeah.
I don't think Dan said.
So it's the lovely Soldier sweater, and Kay's brought the colours.
Oh, finally remembered to bring the colours for the yoke. Now around
because
the yoke,
I'll be starting it really soon.
On the yoke of the Soldier, there are flower motifs.
Yes.
See, it's black and white, but you can see what it's going to look like. And these are the colours that we've got for the flowers. So we've obviously got the gold,
frankincense,
the gold and the grey, and then we've got these lovely pinks coming in. I think it'll look really nice.
I hope so.
And I love these shades, they're really lovely. This is just white colour 1. We then got a lovely pink, which is 66, is the pale pink. This dusky pink is 80. And then the burgundy is 39. burgundy, maroon, not sure what you'd call that, wine maybe. So those together, I think they're lovely, aren't they? I think it's going to be perfect. And I think you'll have loads left over. And you're going to have some of the gold left over, definitely. There's 4 more balls upstairs.
Yeah. Well, I finished with it.
You finished with the gold?
Yeah.
I've got 4 balls of the mustardy colour.
I could do some colourwork hats.
Well, you definitely could, yeah.
With these colours?
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Oh, and then imagine.
I don't know how much of these you're going to use, but I don't think it'll be very much.
Imagine if you had, or what if I did gloves too?
I wore it all together. That's a bit much, isn't it?
That would be so funny. Matching gloves, jumper, and a hat. So, Solya, it's fun. Get into the colour work, and it's the first time I'll be doing more than one colour work.
On one row?
No, I don't think it's on one
right.
row.
There's only 2 different colours per row.
Oh, I don't know. We'll find out when we get there.
I don't know.
It'll be a voyage of discovery,
Yes.
and you can come with me every step of the way. What else is on your needles?
The last thing I've got is another pair of socks. I don't think I showed you any socks last time, so
Well, that's just
I feel
not
like
on.
it's a bit of a sock fest.
It's not
this
acceptable.
time. And I've finished loads of socks as well.
Have you?
I have.
You haven't.
I have.
That's shocking.
That's shocking. One of the pairs that I finished was one of the ones that I'd shown you previously, and it's the ones that I just improvised a pattern using based on a 4x4 rib. I don't know if you remember, I'll show you those in finished objects. But when I showed those and put them on Instagram, I just kind of did that on a whim. Didn't have any plan. I certainly didn't plan on putting it out as a pattern. But I've had loads of people asking me if I would write that up and put it out as a pattern. So I'm happy to do that. If that's what people want, then absolutely I can do that. So I wanted to knit up another pair because that one was a self-striping yarn, and although it looks brilliant in self-striping yarn, when I do a design, I want to use a yarn that's not going to make people think that they have to use that yarn. Do you understand what I mean? If I put the pattern out using a self-striping yarn, then people might presume that they had to have a self-striping yarn, and that's not the case at all. So I thought I would use a different yarn to knit up a sample pair for the pattern. And I decided to use this yarn that I actually asked lovely Kelly at Lay Family Yarns. I asked her...
Would you believe that her interview in Knitability is published today?
Oh, it was today.
Woohoo! Yes, Kelly is in our Christmas special.
Yeah, brilliant. But I asked her a little while ago if she would dye me up a colourway based on the promo pictures for Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know if you've seen them, but it was very distinct. It's purples, oranges, pinks and a gold on the sort of promo posters. And I said, oh, do you think you could dye me up a lovely speckled yarn based on those colours, because I'd love to use it for a design. And I said, would you call it Bohemia? And she did exactly that for me. And this is the yarn. It's gorgeous. It's on a sort of light pink base, and you've got speckles of the purple and the orange coming through. And then she did me a mini of the gold. So together, this is sort of Kelly's interpretation of the poster. And I didn't want super bright. The poster is very bright colours. I wanted that, but sort of toned down, and it's perfect. So I'm sure that Kelly's going to be dyeing some of this up for a shop. But this one is it's called Bohemia, and I asked for it on her 80/20 base because I like the twist on this. It's lovely. So I'm knitting up another pair in this yarn, and I think it's looking so nice. Oh, it's so lovely. So it's got this big 4x4 rib that I spoke about before, and then just a texture pattern running down. And I'm now to the point of the heel flap. So I am going to use the gold for the heel flap, and then I'll probably just knit to the end in the main colour. So I'm just working my way through those, and as soon as I've finished the pair and just had a quick test knit of it, then I will be getting that pattern out sometime in the new year. But it's just lovely. I really love knitting this. It produces a really nice fabric. I think it's really, really pretty to look at. But the main reason I like it is that it's just so nice to knit. You've got some lovely just rows of just knitting, and then you've got a few rows of doing something else. And it really keeps you going. It's a bit like self-striping socks, I find, that you just want to get to the next sort of little bumpy section. And it's just really, I really, really enjoy knitting them. And I think it would suit any yarn at all. Absolutely anything. And I do enjoy designing patterns, socks in particular, where you can use any yarn, you know, where I'm confident that you could use any type of yarn, you know, tonal, self-striping, speckly, as you can see with this one, variegated. I'm sure it would absolutely work. And I think that's really nice. So I haven't got a name for this yet. I've just been calling it my 4x4 sock, but it will have an official name when I put the pattern out. So working away on that.
You need some dexterity and some fitness to knit garments.
Do you?
My goodness.
Were you just struggling then? I didn't pay any attention to you.
It's a workout. It's great. I do find, though, that leaving it in the bag and just moving the bag around really works great.
When you're knitting things like sleeves, yeah.
Well,
Is that what
and
you
that.
mean? And that as well.
Yeah.
Right.
I think once it gets really big, rather than having to sort of, you know, shift everything around and then lay it out, also stops you getting too warm as well.
Maybe that's why knitting yokes like that from the top down might be a better idea, because
I don't have a problem. I mean, I happily, you know, do top down, give it a go. But, you know, I don't have a problem with this. It's cool. It's sort of nice. There's a great sense of accomplishment, I think, when you can see everything underneath your needles. And I've got to say, actually, the thing which I enjoy the least probably is, although I enjoy all aspects of knitting, but I think it's casting on and getting going, especially on small projects. Socks, you know, anything smaller, and hats too.
Right.
You know, those first probably 5-6 rows I find the most challenging.
I can do that for you.
No. That's just not. Thank you so much for the offer, but I don't know what that makes me. But I'm not interested if you've done
I
that.
don't think you're alone in that, actually.
Right. If someone messes with my knitting, I don't want to knit it anymore. I'm like a bird and her nest. If you mess with my nest, I'm making a new one. We need to draw.
Oh.
For the, well, we have drawn.
Yes.
For the winner of the final skein of Knit or Forfeit yarn. Did you see my great victory? And have you gone and watched the gold edition where you get to see the alternate ending where Kay won?
Where I won, I know.
But yes, there was a final skein of yarn, and we're delighted to now be able to announce who the winner is. So who is it, Kay?
So we didn't say what the film was.
What was the film?
What was the film? Well, did everybody guess? A lot of people did guess.
How many? I've not looked at the thread.
143.
Is that about similar to other?
I think so. So
didn't matter how hard I made this.
Everybody knew.
You still got it.
That it was Scrooged.
Yay!
Of course, it was Scrooged.
Which my brother took me to see when it first came out.
Right.
I remember being sat in the cinema.
So yeah, this is a skein of my yarn. This is I did 4 skeins, 2 colours, so 2 of each, and this one is December Dreams. So it's beautiful pinks and blues, and it's got some greys in there as well. And this is on my cashmere fingering weight base.
And who's the winner?
So the winner, it was from numbers 2 to 143, and the winner was number 29, and that's Leslie in Ohio.
Woohoo!
She is Leslie529 on Ravelry. So Leslie, if you're watching, if you can just contact me on Ravelry if you want to. That's the easiest method, I think. Give me your full name and your mailing address, and I'll get that sent out to you. It'll be after Christmas now. So yay, Leslie, well done.
Cool. Congratulations, Leslie.
Yay.
Oh yes, it's such a lovely colour.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
It reminds me of that black currant ice cream, the black currant and licorice ice cream that I had in the Lake District.
Well, there's no purple in it, it's blues and pinks.
But
I suppose the blue and the pink mixing together does look a bit purpley.
Yeah. Now that was good ice cream. Oh yes.
And we're going back in the summer.
Yes. And I should try some more. Although I have eaten so much ice cream. Although I tell a lie, because that ice cream that we got from Booths was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called.
I can't remember. It was a proper Italian gelato, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And it's just the nicest ice cream ever. I'd never had ice cream with a warm mince pie before, and I did with that, and it was just
yummy.
Phenomenal.
It's definitely the way forward, I'd say.
Now look, it's Christmas, and at Christmas we have parties.
We do.
So I think it's time for the Bakery Bears Christmas party. So cue the music and let's go to the shops.
Oh my goodness.
It's like it's midnight.
Our Christmas party begins in the Great Pit of Carcoon. Also known as Sainsbury's Car Park. It's awful.
It's awful. As you can see, it's very pleasant, this car
Look,
park.
I'll turn the lights
Turn
off.
the light off.
The other one? God, look, it's night. Except it isn't.
It's not. It's 9:30 in the morning.
Yes. So, every Christmas party needs music, food and games.
Yes.
And our plan involves trying food. Well, one of them is something that we've seen loads of people eating.
Yeah.
One of them is something that was sent to us, a recipe that was sent to us that we quite fancied.
Yeah.
And the other one is something Danish.
Yes.
And it's not a pastry.
No.
So the first challenge, and it's going to be quite a challenge, is seeing if we can actually find the ingredients.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to be doing a bit of...
Poiroting.
a bit of maybe substituting if we can't find exactly the thing.
I think the thing which we're probably most concerned about is onions.
Well,
French is French.
we're not going to be able to find French fried onions.
That's hard to say.
But hopefully we'll be able to find some other kind of dried fried onion.
Yes.
But who knows?
and
I've never bought it.
Well, and you know, for the clever people out there, can you guess, just through us mentioning French is French fried onion, what we might be making? Well, let's go in and see if we can find the ingredients.
Now this is a Christmas party. Oh yes, first of all, I need to pull a cracker. Should we get our crackers and give them a pull, both at the same time?
Okay.
Who's going to win?
Oh, no, it didn't crack.
pop. It only had one pop.
It didn't
That's
crack.
okay.
Do you want to pull it?
No. But that's good, because you got one and I got the other.
Okay.
Perfection.
What have we got?
First of all...
look, I've got a pretend moustache.
Oh, brilliant. You have to wear it. See if you can put it on. Look at these hats. They never fit me.
How are you supposed to get that into your nose?
Because I think it's for a child.
Oh, I can't shove
they
that
always
into
really
my
hurt.
nose. Well, it's a pretend moustache. Do I look like Poirot?
And what is that?
It's a paper clip.
A plastic paper
Dan's
clip.
got a paper clip. It's the best things in Christmas crackers. What's the joke?
yes.
The
No,
joke.
don't you go looking at my joke. That's impossible. Oh no, that would just
No,
hurt.
it'll hurt. You can't do that. No, well, that's not going to
I feel
work.
like Baldric, where he slug balances in Blackadder. Do you remember?
It's the most terrible
Go on
joke
in.
ever. What do you call a penguin in the desert?
I don't know.
Lost. It's not even funny.
How do you keep cool at a football match?
I don't know.
You stand next to a fan.
Oh, dear
Look,
me.
Please, can we have a
Needs to
check?
put that out.
Who else?
Well, you've got an orange hat as well.
Yeah, I know,
We've got orange.
These
Orange
crackers
is not a very festive colour.
seem a bit dreadful to me. And look at the size of them.
What is it?
The
big?
hats.
Is
No.
it small? No, they're
I
not
just
very
mean-
tall, are they?
No, they're not. Do you have crackers? And are the jokes terrible? Is that a worldwide problem?
Awful jokes.
Do we need to resolve this problem? Now then.
I do have a paper clip though, which is very exciting, useful thing at Christmas.
So we decided, as you will have become all too aware by now, that we are trying food from... Well, to be fair, what we've done is we've picked one thing that we've seen loads of people eating that we wanted to try, although now I'm looking at it, I'm not certain why we wanted to try it.
Me neither.
And should we say what that is? What is that, Kay?
Green bean casserole.
Oh, yes.
I have used the recipe from the Campbell's website.
And you did a bit of research, didn't you?
Well, look, it says on the Campbell's website that the original recipe was devised by them in 1950 something. I forget. It was either 50 something or 60 something.
To sell soup.
So, presumably to sell the soup, because you use a tin of condensed mushroom soup.
No one's buying a mushroom soup. How can we shift it?
Yeah.
I know what we'll do. We'll mix it with green beans.
So I thought I'll go with that one. All of the recipes I found were kind of a variation on a theme. They were all sort of similar. But I thought I'd go with that one. And we did find some dried onions. They weren't French's, but we found some.
That was a result.
Yeah, we'll give that a go.
So
green
the first thing we're
casserole.
trying is a thing that we've seen probably more than anything else on Instagram. We've seen it everywhere, so we wanted to try that.
Yeah.
The second thing is something, what we did was last episode and also on our last Patreon podcast, we said, please share with us, and you've been amazing. And we've got loads of recipes which we're going to try. We're definitely going to give a go to because they just look delicious. But the one that we chose for today's celebration is...
sweet potato hash from the lovely Erica Luda.
Or
Yay.
she's also known as the
Hermione lady.
Yes, of course. So this looks
lovely,
like it's got a lot of potential.
Because I love sweet potatoes. It's basically sweet potatoes, it's bacon, onions, garlic, pepper. So I mean, it looks really nice.
Really does. We have also we have a pudding to come.
We've got a pudding.
But we'll tell you about that when we get to the pudding course. But what we've done,
very excited.
What we've done there is we have blended the traditional and favourite foods of the world with the traditional and favourite foods of us.
We've got homemade chutney and sausage rolls.
Oh yes.
And we've also got a little Christmas tipple.
Oh, should we give it a go? Of course.
It's non-alcoholic and it's...
Oh my goodness.
It's mulled ginger
wine,
non-alcoholic, and it's warmed up. It's nice. I don't know if I'm going to like it.
Really nice. Oh, that's Christmas in a glass. Oh, it's delicious.
It's really strong.
Do you like it?
It's really strong.
This is what... Doesn't it feel alcoholic? Don't you think?
Oh, that's really gingery. I tell you what, if you don't drink alcohol, that's a great one because it really gives you that sense of something.
You get the same twang at the back of the throat.
Very tingly. Ginger's very good for you, though, isn't it?
It's like you've just had a spirit. That's what that's like, isn't it? Do you like it?
Not sure.
All right, okay.
Not sure.
So, what should we try first?
Should we go for the green bean casserole?
I'm scared.
I'm a bit scared.
It's particularly sort of scary, the brown gunge.
Yeah, it looks a bit gungy.
It smells very strong of onions. Let's try.
Do you know what? It's actually all right.
I'm not really getting any mushrooms. Are you?
I think I might be getting a bit of mushroom.
It's an easy way of making a sauce, isn't it? Bunging in.
It's not really a sauce, though. It's so thick, it's just... I think you could have added more milk. I mean, I put in the amount of milk that it said.
Right. That's a bit of a winner, isn't it?
It's okay.
You could have that any time, couldn't you?
Yeah.
On a Sunday roast.
And the green beans aren't
That's amazing.
really squidgy, are they? I used frozen green beans because this time of year fresh ones come from a million miles away, so I thought, well, the frozen ones probably have as well, but I thought I'll go for frozen.
I checked the fresh ones. Ecuador. I don't think there's anything better than trying foods of the world, and that's why we were so keen to do this, you know, getting tastes from, because we would never have thought of doing this.
No, I think I could have cooked it a bit longer. The green beans are a bit crunchy, aren't they? But
I'll be honest, I'm perfectly happy with that. That's perfect for me. It's really nice. Goodness me. Look.
It's all right. Should we try this then?
I think we should.
This makes a really nice, almost vegetarian lunch. There's some bacon in the sweet potatoes, but you know, you could substitute that if you were vegetarian. Should we try this?
It's blooming out. It's kept its heat. That's good, isn't it? It does have a festive taste. Do you know what it smells of, actually?
It's really nice. Erica, that's really nice.
That was reminding me of stuffing.
I could eat the whole bowl.
It was making me think of stuffing when we were making it and the smells that were coming off it.
That's really nice.
It is, isn't it?
And I use smoked bacon, which I think really adds to it.
Yeah. And do you know what? I think it goes really well together. Don't you?
I think it's really nice. I think you could have both of these with your Christmas dinner and be very happy. I'd be very happy.
Now then, look.
It's very nice. Oh, I wish you could join. I wish you were here with us. You could have some because there's loads. Sausage rolls. I can't try one, unfortunately. It wouldn't be good for my tummy.
You've got to put it up against. And I think it stands up.
We've got our chutney. We've already...
Do you want to try some of that with that?
That'd be nice. Chutney with the hash. We've already used one entire jar. It was smaller than this.
I thought it was better than the other one, actually.
Does it?
I think so, yeah.
It's sloppier than it was last year.
My goodness.
It's not as stiff as last year. So shall I just put a bit on the side of the...
Yes.
Let's try that. So I'll have a bit of chutney. See, my theory is this chutney goes with everything. Absolutely does.
What about your porridge?
Oh, maybe not with porridge.
These dishes are just superb. And it's such an interesting process because I don't know about you, but sometimes when you look at pictures of stuff, it doesn't transfer as well. And you look at it and you think, oh no. And I'll be honest, the green bean casserole, we honestly thought it would just be disgusting. And I can totally see why and how this has become such a tradition. What were the tastes of your Christmas growing up? Now, clearly for lots of people, their Thanksgiving was this. And clearly for Erica, sweet potato hash. But for me, what do I remember? Well, I remember having chicken on Christmas Eve. It was roast chicken sandwiches.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and stuffing.
Like a roast chicken you just roasted in the oven.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
You're terrible.
It's
How
not
is
going to
it
stay
falling
on.
off?
I'm going to have to get grips or something.
I don't understand this.
Oh, that looks... I'm sure that looks joyous.
But it doesn't matter. It's Christmas.
It's going to slip over my eyes.
Which would be even funny.
I look ridiculous.
No. So for me, Christmas Eve, 2 chickens, stuffing.
2 chickens?
Yeah, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, there was at least 5 of us, if not 6.
And they were all boys, weren't they, apart from your mum?
4 boys and 2 girls, because sometimes my gran was there as well. So,
oh, this is stupid.
2 chickens, delicious. Christmas Day, always turkey, but also a duck.
Oh, right.
I don't like duck.
I'm not keen on duck. It's too fatty.
Perfectly happy to accept crispy duck.
Crispy duck?
Oh, now you've got me talking. The taste of Christmas. I remember the Christmas where my mum said to me, she gave me Delia Smith's book.
The other one, I don't know where the other one is.
The original.
The original
It's got to be somewhere. It has to be somewhere. The original version of Delia's Christmas in the green back. She gave me that book and she said, I mean, what an amazing mum. Go through that and put an asterisk next to all the things that you love. And guess what? She's still got it.
Oh, and it's still got stars next to it? Oh, I'm going to look.
Yeah. So she said, put stars next to anything and I'll make it for you. And she did. And one of the things I put a star next to was salt beef. And she went and got a really, I'm not sure what the cut was, but she went, it was probably a top side. It wouldn't have been an expensive one.
Top side or silver side, probably.
Silver side. That's sounding familiar. She went and got this silver side. She had to go to the chemists to get saltpeter.
Yeah. Because I don't think you can get it anymore, can you?
Well, it's used in explosives.
I think it's illegal, isn't it?
It's really difficult to get hold of. You still can, I think.
Right.
If you know the right person and you go, no one's shady. I'm not being. Anyway,
Got a dealer.
She went and did this, and I remember every day she put it out in the garage.
Right.
It was all covered over, all sealed in.
I have made salt beef once, haven't I?
Yeah, and it was delicious. It's delicious. So it's out there in the garage, and every day we used to have to go out and put the stuff on it, and it was just gorgeous. So that is definitely another. But also my mum's mince pies. My mum always made a chocolate log house.
Chocolate log house?
Yes, she used to make 4 sort of, the loaf tin long.
Right, yeah.
As if you were making a ginger cake.
Oh, right.
She would make probably 4 or 5 of those. She would stack one on top of the other for the 2 layers of the house. She would cover that in chocolate icing. She would put Rolos on for the windows. She'd make doors with flakes. she would then get the additional 2 that she'd made. She would chop them on the side to create like a roof shape.
Right, gosh.
She would stick them on either side, then cover that with a slightly different icing so it looked like a roof. The problem was, as you can see, this was so vast that we never managed to get through it all, and there was a lot of us. So by the end, I remember having a piece of it, still one piece of it, and it's so dry.
Oh, gosh.
But then when microwaves came in...
I was going to say microwave it. Yeah, it softens it right up.
I remember when my mum got a microwave.
Microwave?
Yes, microwave.
A microwave?
Guess what? It was in her Christmas stocking.
How could that be in a stocking?
Because a tite was used.
Oh no, pair of tights.
Yeah, and it was pulled. It was pulled over. So there was this stocking
stretched that far.
with all these presents in, and then at the bottom was this massive. Because back then they were big. I remember the brand. It was Sanyo.
Yeah,
it was a Sanyo microwave.
They
it was
were big
brown.
things, weren't they?
Yes. And I remember the first time I accidentally put some metal in it. Not good.
You don't want to do that.
There was sparks. That's all I'm going to say. Tastes of your childhood. What did you have at Christmas?
Well, we would have had turkey, I'm sure. We might not have even had turkey because we didn't have a huge amount of money growing up. So it might... I wonder if my dad used to get... I know what would have happened, and I must ask my mum. But I bet my dad used to get like a big chicken or a turkey from the farm up the road.
This sounds familiar.
I bet that's what he used to do. Because my dad used to work... not work, he used to like go on weekends and things and help out and stuff in a farm that was up the road, which is still there actually, where I used to live. And I bet that's where he got a chicken or a turkey from.
Right.
From the farm. But I just, it was just very traditional.
Do you remember like being, because I remember Christmas Day was always a bit weird for us because, first of all, my brothers were in York Minster Choir. So what that meant was, first thing in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, they had to be there by 9.
Gosh,
so,
right.
At church by 9 o'clock, service through till midday, home for 2 hours, and then back again for evensong.
Right.
So Christmas didn't really start until they got back from evensong, which was 6 o'clock.
Gosh.
So manic activity, present opening, first thing Christmas morning.
Right.
Manic activity, get in the car, dump them at the church, home. I was so little then, I don't really remember what I did through the day. I will have played with presents and looked at all the big presents under the tree, all the main presents.
Because you had to wait.
We had to wait until they got home.
Oh, that's painful, isn't it?
So then they would get home, and then we would have Christmas lunch at lunchtime because they would come home at lunchtime.
Right.
So it had to be ready on time, which was really cool. So 12:30 on the button, it's ready.
That's a great time to eat lunch, in my opinion.
So sat down, hour, done. All family, grandpa, everyone sat around the table, then back in the car, gone, home, presents. We all had to sit around and the presents were all given out to us one by one. And you had to open them up. It was very formal and also a little bit theatrical.
We didn't used to have a stocking, we used to have a football sock and it was always under the bed.
Ours was a pillowcase.
I know, it was always a football sock. And it was always under the bed and it would just have, very sort of small sort of presents in with an orange at the bottom and like a 50p piece or something.
Yeah, ours had magazines, sweets.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't much in the.
Yeah. But I don't really have very vivid memories.
Right. Well, I feel very lucky.
I think because you did the whole church, the singing and
then what happened? The strongest memories that I have that I could sort of sit here and talk to you for a long time about is then when I was in the choir. And I remember vividly all of that. And do you know what? Whilst it was hard work and you were rushing around a lot, it created unbelievable memories.
That's the thing, isn't it? If you're doing something like that, you're going to have those memories, aren't you? Those very strong memories.
Camaraderie with the other choristers, singing Once in Royal David City in the Minster with, everyone using proper candles. So tell us what we've got for pudding, Kay.
For pudding, I don't know what the name is.
It's from Denmark. It was recommended to us actually by 2 or 3 different people, all from that part of the world. And it's called Risalamande. I hope I pronounced that right. And
it's from what we've kind of done a quick version of it because it's basically.
Delia can do that, so can we.
Absolutely. It's basically a rice pudding which you make yourself, and then it's got flaked almonds in it or sliced almonds, and then a cherry sauce. It says cherry sauce on top. So what we've done is we've just got a tin of rice pudding, and a really good brand tin of rice pudding that I really like it. We've got flaked almonds, which we've just rolled through. This is it. We heated up the rice pudding, obviously. And then we got some found in Sainsbury's, some Morello cherry compote, which looks absolutely delicious. It's got whole cherries in there and it's quite sharp. It's not super sweet. So I've got high hopes.
And we've decided that this is the opportunity to put Kay's statement to the test to see if the chutney goes with everything. No.
Absolutely not. So we're going to give this a go. Oh, Dan's drinking the remnants of my ginger wine thing. I love rice pudding and I love almonds and I quite like cherries. So there's no reason. It's very nice. Dan's not a rice pudding fan.
Enjoy it. I'm really not a rice pudding fan
Why
at all.
don't you like rice pudding? Because you like rice.
I think
I love rice pudding.
that my rice pudding hatred stems from when I went to the Minster school, when I was obviously singing in the choir. We would have school dinners, and for everything that was served up to you, you had a choice. You could have a small, medium or large. Unless it was rice pudding or tapioca pudding.
Oh, tapioca. No, don't do that.
That's the frog spawn one, isn't
Yeah.
it? And I'm sure there was another one as well that we used to have. There was 3 different types. And when it was that, you all got...
Semolina.
Yeah. You all got a large. You just got a large. And if you didn't eat it all, you got detention. So what did you think of that risalamon then, Kay?
Well, seeing as I just ate my body weight in it, I'd say that was a winner. I loved that. Yummy.
If I liked rice pudding, I would have loved it because the cherries just taste absolutely delicious.
Those, if you can get to a Sainsbury's, go and buy some of this because I think it'd be fantastic over just like plain vanilla ice cream at Christmas as a really quick dessert. Perfect. It was absolutely delicious.
When I was growing up, Kay, I don't know about you, but you would sit around. We would do this on Boxing Day actually. Because obviously Christmas Day was so busy with flying around church and all of that. Boxing Day, big family meal at lunchtime, and then game time. And we used to play loads of different games that we just loved. Whispers, used to play.
Chinese whispers. Did you just call them whispers?
Yeah.
Ah, it was those Chinese whispers.
Also, we used to really enjoy playing Trivial Pursuit. I remember when that came out in the 80s.
Was it the 80s?
Yeah, it was. 86, I recall, being the first time we played that, 86 or 87. So we all used to play that, which was really good fun. But one of the games which we used to absolutely love, what did you call it? I mean, what would you call it?
Give us a
clue, is it?
Charades.
Charades, that's it.
Charades. Is it charades or charades?
Well, I call it charades.
You're posh.
Charades.
I'd say charades, I think.
So we thought... Do you remember, wherever you're watching this, because in this country there was a TV programme called Give Us a Clue.
Give Us a Clue with Eunice Stubbs and Lionel Blair, wasn't it?
That's it, Lionel Blair.
Oh, he was brilliant.
And, I mean, I'm sure you know the rules, but basically, I'll tell you how we're going to play it. On these little cards, as you can see here, there are lots and lots of different carols or Christmas songs. And what we're going to do, I think I've just pulled out the same one again. What we're going to do is we're going to pick a card and then, so I can start if you want.
Okay.
Or you can start.
No, you can start. Okay. I haven't played this for about 59 years.
Well, I haven't either. Well, I thought we could say, if you want, you're allowed to sing it and I have to guess it.
Oh, no.
No, we're already
I'm not going to sing. You can sing, you can do it.
So we'll make it fair so that it's both the same for both of us. So what you do is you get the card, and what we'll do is we'll tell you, we'll say, for those of you, what did he say? For those of you playing at home, look away now.
Yeah, something like that.
But if you want to see we'll hold it up like that.
Yeah.
So then you can see, and no looking in the screen when you cheater. That'd be really funny.
Yeah.
So the timer starts when I first start, so I get to pick the card and I can show the people at home.
Right, okay.
So you shuffle them around?
I'll shuffle them, yeah.
So I'll pick one.
I need to not look.
Yes.
Right.
Go ahead. Okay.
Not cheating.
Okay. So for those of you playing at home, look away now. For those of you playing at home, you can look back. Okay. Are you ready, Kay?
Yeah.
So you ready?
We need to start it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's as many as we can in 3 minutes. Okay, here we go.
3 words. First word. Mistletoe and wine. Go, go, go.
Don't look.
Oh my word. 7 words.
Yeah. Okay.
First word. Sounds like... You can't make a noise. Hot. Ouch. Burn. Sounds like... Hot touch. What? What? I know it sounds like, you don't need to keep doing that. Second word sounds like drive, steer, wheel, car, sounds like car, far, bar, mar, tar, car, dar, far, gar, ha, jar, mar, dar. Third word, me, you.
Pass. I'm doing another one. That was What Are You Doing New Year's Eve?
I don't even know that song. I've never heard of it. 5 words. First word, 1. One's in Royal Dover City. Second word. What? Climb. 3. Third word, sleep. 1 more sleep till Christmas.
Look away now. Okay, here we go.
2 words. The whole thing. You're doing the whole thing. No, first word.
No.
Second word, kiss. 2 kisses. Christmas kisses. Oh no!
The bell should go. Look away.
5 words. First word.
No.
4 words.
No.
4th word.
Yeah.
Fly. Ah.
That was classic.
I got 2. Did I get...
No, you got 3.
I got 3.
Yeah, that was really good. Okay, so
Okay.
remember to tell them to look away if they're playing at
Okay.
home.
Look away if you are playing at home. I'm going to show it now. Okay.
Okay, so start the timer. Tell me when you're ready.
Yeah.
Okay, go. 4 words. First word, baby. Third word, cold. Baby's cold outside.
Yes!
Next.
Right, look away if you want to play.
5 words. Second word, tiny. Star, Christmas. Pointed, hat, tiny, small. Okay. Third word, baby. Growing baby. Taller baby. Tall baby. Mary's boy child. Unto us a child is born.
No.
5th word. Cradling the baby. Diarrhea.
No.
Birth. Baby's birth. A baby child is born. When a child is born.
Yes!
Yes, next.
Look away. Okay. Oh no, this...
3 words. Third word. Knocking at the door. Bells. Carol of bells.
Yes!
3. Come on.
Oh, I've had that one. Right, okay. Look away.
Knocking at the door. 5th word. 5 words. 5th word. Star of Bethlehem. Pointing at the stars. Dusting the ceiling.
Pass. Look away. Okay, I keep talking.
5 words. 3rd word. Red. 3rd word, red. The 4th word, nose. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yes! I can't do that. We've had that one. And I've just done that one. Okay.
Oh! Got 4! Yay! Oh my goodness.
Could somebody explain to me how you're supposed to do that one? He's
That
having
won't
a
shut
laugh,
up.
isn't he? He's having a laugh.
Indulge you below. What a great game.
Wow.
I love that.
You all want to play that now, don't you?
Yay!
Yay!
Oh, bring it back. Bring back, give us a clue.
So who won? Who actually won?
Me.
You won because you
I got
guessed
4.
the most.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So, that's it, folks. We've had a rather lovely Christmas meal.
We need to clear up the detritus of our party.
Oh, yes. And I've drunk way too much ginger wine. So I think it's time that I went and had a lie down.
Yes.
And we handed it back to us to see if we've actually finished anything.
We have.
Have we?
Yes, we have.
Wonderful. Let's go
Well,
see.
I have.
Have you?
Yes.
Well, maybe I will have too.
I don't think so. Have you?
Well, if I extract my finger, I might
Oh,
do.
you might have, yes.
Let myself down, all of you down, but most importantly, I've let you down, Kay.
Why?
Because I haven't finished that hat.
No.
I'm sorry, so I have nothing. To this party, I bring nothing. Apart from
Nothing.
a win at charades. What do you call them again? Charades.
Charades.
Do you?
I don't know.
Isn't that strange? I
don't
wonder why
think
there's a
it's-
difference in pronunciation.
I don't think I say charades. No,
Who
I
would
don't.
have thought
I don't say charades, I say charades.
that that wonderful song by Johnny Mathis could be depicted by this? I love that. I've not played charades in years, and we enjoyed it that much. We're taking the cards away with us,
We are,
and we're
yeah.
going to play it on Christmas in the country.
It'll be hilarious with Nana Wendy, I'm sure.
Well, Grandpa Steve will be worse.
I can't imagine that he will do it.
Of course he will.
do it.
Of course he will. And he'll get really annoyed when people don't get his amazing signage. So, look, without further ado, it's time for us to find out, Kay Jones, what's off your needles? Because there's a lot.
I know, there is quite a lot. And
That's all right.
some of it's actually not knitting.
Wow.
That's interesting, isn't it? When am I doing these?
Do what do it first.
Oh, right, okay. So
It's the blizzard socks.
we will talk, yay, first of all, about... That sounded very random, that yay, didn't it? All right.
It didn't.
So this is the first of my platinum collection patterns for 2019.
Yes.
Well, traditionally, I say traditionally, we've started the tradition of sending out this pattern on Christmas Eve to our patrons, which they will be getting.
Yeah, you just pass off the best bit of it all in a sentence as if it means nothing. The platinum collection is for gold and platinum patrons.
Yeah.
But because it's Christmas, everyone who is a bronze, silver, gold or platinum patron on the 24th of December gets it.
We'll get this pattern. Yay!
So everyone who is a patron on the 24th
Yep.
gets this pattern.
And here it is. It's a pair of socks and it's called Blizzard. There they are. You've got a little, I've just told one of them, now you've seen there is actually two. You've got this little forest of fir trees around the leg, which is a lace pattern. And that's surrounded by this lovely blizzard of snowflakes running down the foot. Oh, it's beautiful. And it's got a standard heel flap, heel turn, gusset decreases, and then it's my umbrella toe. And it's a 2x2 rib. The yarn that I used is Eden Cottage Yarns, and it was their colourway for the Flower Power Fund this year. It was September 2018 that they did that, and it's the Nigella colour, which is a flower. It's a beautiful pale blue flower, Nigella, it's gorgeous. This base I'd never used before. It's Tempo 4-ply, and it's a 75-25, wool nylon. It doesn't say merino, it's just wool. But you only get 400 metres, so normally with like a standard 75-25 that hand dyers tend to use, it's 425 metres. So it's slightly shorter yardage, which means it's slightly plumper. And it's also woollier. I don't think it is merino, it doesn't feel like merino. It's definitely a bit woollier. It feels more like, I don't think it's a BFL either, but it's certainly a bit more woolly. It's still really soft, but it's definitely a little bit more woollier, and I really like that. It was lovely to knit with, and it blocked beautifully. The stitches just look so lovely. I went outside to take the photos, and it was about 3:30 in the afternoon, and it was just coming twilight, and I thought it would be terrible for photo taking, but actually it turned out it was just beautiful, and the photos came out just so fantastically well. I was so pleased with how it, what the finished socks looked like. It was just gorgeous.
What you want for photos, and I think this is the mistake that people make, and I've made over the years, and only learned, in the time that we've been doing this. What you need is no sun.
No, and there was no sun.
Because as soon as you have sun, you get shadow.
True. Yeah, that's true. And there was no sun. It was a very grey day actually, but it turned out to be just perfect for taking photos. I really hope you all enjoy knitting up a pair of these. Very, very festive, I feel, but wintry as well. It's not. I wouldn't look at these and think of Christmas automatically. I would think of more of winter.
Now, they'll all be chomping at the bit and thinking, when can I start knitting these?
Yes.
It's the 24th of December. So whilst we're showing them to you now,
yeah,
you can't have them. Just like your Christmas presents. You can't have them.
You've got to wait.
Well, the best thing is, though, at least we don't hold this Christmas present off till the 25th of December.
No.
This will be published on the 24th of December as part of our Christmas message that finishes the Advent calendar, and it will go out to absolutely all our podcast patrons. It'll have the pattern attached to it.
Pattern will be attached to it, yes. But so I will have had, if you want to go and have a look at some more photos of it, there'll be a project page on my Ravelry project page.
There's a website page, Kate.
And there's a website page, of course.
And that's a perfect opportunity to thank you all so much for the amazing feedback with regards to the website, which we spoke about for the first time last episode. And also thank you as well so much to the people who spotted one or two little errors that I'd made, which they've now been corrected. And that actually, you're the perfect checking team, because, hundreds of eyes going over every little page as hopefully now we've got it nailed. There's a couple of links that weren't quite right.
So yeah, there we go. That's the Blizzard socks. Really, really pleased with those.
What else is off your needles?
Well, I will take those off. I'll come to the other socks in a minute. I've knit a hat and finished a hat.
You have not.
Had I cast this on?
You've knit a hat.
Had I cast this on the last episode? I don't know if I had. I can't remember. But yes, I've knit and I've finished a hat. And I did mention this because it's the Rasta yarn. We were laughing about it, weren't we? Because a Rasta mouse.
Mondulu.
Yeah. So I have finished the hat that I had started last time. I think now that it's finished, I think that texture pattern actually does show up. Do you know?
It looks superb.
Yeah, how I was saying that I didn't think it showed up, but I think it does.
She finished it and she put it on, and I think it's genuinely, I think it's one of the nicest hats I've seen you wearing.
I know, and I've got a high ponytail, so I can't really put it on.
Don't worry, I'm not going to stretch it. What I love about it is, if this was knit plain, it wouldn't be interesting. It would just be a hat that keeps your head warm. But because of those ropes which are going up it looks very sort of fisherman-y.
Oh, right, fisherman-y.
The type of hat that you would expect a sort of swarthy fisherman to have on, going out and pulling in the catch. I bet you that Mr. Birdseye's got one of those hats.
Do you think?
He's not some sort of friendly old man anymore. He's not like Old Jack's boat. Now he's like Mr. Silver Fox Man.
Yeah, I know.
And all his friends
hilarious.
are beautiful.
Yeah.
And they all love fish.
Does it make you want to buy fish fingers more?
No.
No, I don't think so.
He's not on a fishing boat anymore. He's on like a yacht. Like a pleasure yacht.
It's gone all glamorous, isn't he? And I added a pom-pom. And this pom-pom, I made this pom-pom. Look at this. Oh,
what about
my
the
goodness.
first pom-pom you made, Kate?
Oh, gosh, do you know what? I threw it away. I couldn't stand looking at it. It was awful,
Couldn't stand it.
I had a little bit of this yarn left over, not very much. So I thought, right, okay, what I'll do is I will hold it double with some mohair and make a pom-pom. But I sort of ran out of this yarn in the centre of each side. I sort of split it in half. So it ran through like the middle. But when I cut it and sort of unfurled the pom-pom, it had like this stripe of this yarn running through the pom-pom, but the cut edges of it were all looked like little blobs. Oh, it looked horrible. I couldn't stand looking at it. It just looked gross. It was horrible.
Oh yeah, it looked like a tumour.
It was just disgusting. I had to throw it away. It was awful. So I wouldn't recommend you make pom-poms with this Rasta yarn.
No.
It didn't look nice.
No.
So then I thought, right, do you know what? I'm going to just use mohair. because I'd finished another project, which I'll show you in a minute, where I made a tiny pom-pom and I used Kid Silk Haze for the pom-pom. So I did the same thing and I used 3 different colours. There's like a cream, a darker grey and a blue, and held them triple and made this super fluffy mohair pom-pom. And the good thing about it is it's not very heavy, do you know, because mohair is very light. It's not a very heavy pom-pom. I've attached it really well, but it doesn't seem to, it feels a bit unsecure. I might have to just have another little go at that. So I just made up this pattern myself and I improvised some decreases and it came out really well. I used 52 stitches on an 8mm needle. And I do wonder, I used DPNs as well, and I do wonder if it was that hurt my shoulder. But I don't know that for certain. But it's really nice, so I'm going to take this away with me.
You're going to wear it?
Yeah, I am, even though I think it's going to be 10, 11 degrees down at your mum's all week. I checked. Colder in the morning.
What else?
That's that. And then I worked on a couple of things for our advent calendar.
Woohoo!
I wanted to do some sort of Christmas crafty things as part of the advent calendar. These are the 2 things that I made. The first thing was...
This was a little knit-along.
Kind of, yeah, a little knit-along. The first thing was I made one of these little gnomes.
And lots of people did go off and buy the pattern and knit along.
Yeah, and this is the pattern by Susan Claudino. There's another one back here, look.
There's 2.
It's these little gnomes that hang up here all the time. And the pattern is Gnome is where the heart is, and you get a little gnome pattern and a heart as well, and I've made the heart as well, and it's really brilliant. The heart basically is like this bit and then different at the top. But I decided to make a little festive version. So on her hat I added, can you see that kind of fur cuff, which is a strand of mohair and then a strand of just my own hand-dyed in a colourway that I thought looked like a fur cuff. And then it's all sparkle yarn, and then a lovely icy blue for a hat, and then this is like a mini mohair pom-pom that I made, and that's what inspired me then to do the bigger one, because I just thought it was so cute. And a little plaits are like blonde but with little specks of different colours in. And it was so sweet, and I put little rosy cheeks on her just with a bit of makeup. I have to give her a bit of makeup for Christmas, and a little pink smile. She's absolutely adorable, so I really recommend this pattern. If you're looking for last minute, even now, you could whip one of these up really in a couple of hours, I reckon. And it's going to hang on the tree at Christmas time, so really lovely. So I made that. And then this was the non-knitting.
And this was a little tutorial series.
Yes, this was a tutorial series. Part of the advent calendar again, and people have been making these like fury, and it's been brilliant. There's been so many people making these, and that's just been so nice to see. And it's little felt hearts, and I used wool felt, proper wool felt, and it's a beautiful material to work with. I absolutely love wool felt. And they've got beads on, little cut out bits of felt here. We've got a star and a flower, as you can see, buttons on there, little bits of sort of leftover ribbons. And then on the back, and they hang up, they've got a hanging thing, and then on the back there's a little label where you can put a person's name, or you could put any sort of inspirational word. You could put knitter, you could put love, you could put Christmas, anything you like at all. And then a little hanging ribbon as well. So you could give them as decorations or just as little presents for anything really. I mean, these are kind of festive coloured themed, but they don't have to be like that. You could make them any time of year. So I really enjoyed making these and doing the tutorial, and it's been great to see so many people making these. You know, people have been making them as gifts for Christmas and for hanging on the tree. Just really, really lovely thing to do.
Yeah.
And I really love wool felt. If you've never used proper wool felt and you do like making things like this, then I do recommend you just get in a couple of pieces. It's not vastly expensive. It's more expensive than normal craft felt, but it's really worth it. It's really beautiful. So that's my 2 little felted hearts.
What about these socks?
Right, socks. I finished last night. I finished this pair, and I've shown these before, but they're all done now. And this is another pair of Thomasina socks, which was the 3rd pattern in my Miss Potter sock club. And I knit these in self-striping. And this is yarn from Kelly, Lay Family Yarns, self-striping in the Magnolia colour. And then I just used some of my hand dyed in a silvery grey for the heels and toes. So they're all finished. Yay! I really wanted to get these done before the end of the year. I just wanted to try and finish up, you know, all these projects that I'd got on the go so that I can start afresh with like new designs and new projects, and I just think that's a really nice feeling and it's quite invigorating to start the year.
Pass me those socks and you can show the non-socky thing.
And then I whipped this up quickly just the other day for Bryony, just as a little stocking filler. I ordered some yarn from Deb at Fondant Fibre, and I'll show you that in a minute. And in there, she put in some presents, and she put some yarn for Dan, some handspun for Dan. He was absolutely thrilled. Handspun! He's not knit with handspun for ages. But she also put in a little sample of a new base, and it's her tinsel. Was it tinsel base, Deb? I think it was called tinsel base. And it's a sparkly base, but it uses lurex rather than stellina. And I've seen a few dyers using this recently, and I've not tried it. And instead of having the stellina, which is kind of randomly in your yarn, isn't it? Tiny little threads. This has got a lurex thread that wraps around the yarn. And it's very, very sparkly and soft too. The only other time I've used a yarn similar to this was an opal yarn. They do one which is sparkly like this with a thread around it, but I find that quite rough. This isn't at all. It's lovely and soft. It's really nice. So it was just a sample. I've still got a little bit left actually, but I thought, oh, I'll make Bryony a little bookmark, because she really loves anything to do with the night sky. She instantly thinks of Remus Lupin and turning into a werewolf. So I thought, oh, I'll knit her a little bookmark as a stocking filler. So I've just done a garter stitch bookmark, but then I decided when I finished it to try and find a button that looked like the moon. Button moon.
Yes. We've been to Button Moon.
Yeah, we followed Mr. Spoon.
Button Moon.
So, and I found it.
Missed your final line.
Oh, Button Moon.
Thank you.
I found the most amazing button in my mum's button tin. Mum, if you're watching, it was in your button tin. Ooh, it looks just like the moon. Isn't that fantastic with the sparkly sky? I think Bryony's going to love it. It's such a little thing, and Dan's laughing.
No, I wasn't laughing for that reason.
What were you laughing at?
I'll tell you for why. Do you see this bit here?
Yeah.
This is reminding me of when you tumble dried those sweaters.
Yeah, that needs to come off.
Kay tumble dried a couple of sweaters bought from a shop, and they were the statickiest things I've ever been near in my life. Honestly. There was so much static. One thread that had sort of come away was standing on end.
Like that.
And it was like standing completely proud and straight. And every time she touched it, it was like zzz.
They were acrylic jumpers, and I don't normally put acrylic in the dryer because it just statics up, doesn't it? And I'd run out of dryer sheets that usually staticifies things.
Thankfully, my nerveless hands came to the rescue, because I just kept
touch them.
I kept picking them up.
I couldn't touch them at all. And I said, "What am I going to do? What am I going to do with these jumpers?"
You thought you were going to have to wash them again?
I thought I was going to have to wash them again and then re-dry them, but they were okay once you'd sort of touched them.
I just picked them up and put them down a few times. And I could hear it cracking, but I just couldn't feel it.
The crackling, it was unbelievable. Yeah. Gosh, it's not good, is it?
No.
So yeah, so there's the little, isn't it lovely? I think she's going to absolutely love it. And actually, I've not got her any books yet for Christmas. We're going to go to Waterstones this week, and I'll pick up a couple of books with stocking fillers, and I'll pop this into one of the books because I think she'll really like it. So I just did garter stitch, but I did do a slip stitch. You can't see it at all. I don't know why I'm even showing you. There is a slip stitch edge down there just to make it look nice and neat down here. I didn't block it or anything. I just thought it's fine, isn't it? But isn't that sweet with the moon? I love that. So thank you so much, Deb, if you're watching, for that little sample. And it inspired me to make a purchase from someone else with this yarn. So,
do you have anything else?
One last thing.
Show it.
Oh my goodness. So I finished these socks that I spoke about earlier, the ones that I'm going to do a design for, a pattern, put out a pattern. And these ones I knit in the Yarn Badger yarn.
We remember you showing that before, Kay. Even I remember.
Yes, I did. The Yarn Badger. And it's in the autumn leaves colour, and it's sparkle, and then I added in just that lavender colour. That was one of my own little hand-dyed minis. Oh, and I just think they look fantastic. I washed these and obviously been blocked. It's just a really fun and relaxing knit I really, really enjoyed knitting them. So that's why actually I'm really thrilled that people are interested in the pattern, because it was just such a lovely, joyful project to knit on. So I love that yarn. It was beautiful, blocked fantastically, not a speck of dye in the water, which always impresses me for self-striping in particular. But I love it when dyers are careful enough that they make sure that all of the dye exhausts into the yarn, because I don't like dye sort of washing into the water system if at all possible. So yeah, love those. Brilliant.
And that's it.
Yay!
Wonderful. Folks, we're getting towards the end of the party. It's that moment where the music goes off and the people running the joint.
Oh, is it time for a smooch?
Yeah. Oh. Yes, it's time for the Endy Bits. Now, we will be... I must remember to say, first of all, because I'll forget otherwise, we'll be back on the 11th of January with episode 116, which is our review of the year 2018, where we look at our knitting horizons and we see how we've done.
Yeah.
And we're doing it in a whole new way.
Oh.
Yes, you don't even know how we're doing it, and it's going to be fun. Oh yes, we'll also be setting our knitting horizons for the new year.
Yeah.
The Christingle Mingle
continues. There's over 400 finished items in that thread.
There you go. You have been mingling.
Amazing.
Have you been Christingling? I don't know.
Absolutely been Christingling and mingling and finishing all those things for Christmas. So that will continue. That thread will stay open, the FO thread, until the 31st. I'll close the thread on New Year's Day, and then we will draw for winners. We've got quite a lot of prizes for that lovely knit along, so we will draw for winners on the
11th of January in episode 116.
Yes.
Climb every mountain. There is a thread open.
Yes, there is a thread open now, and a lot of the patrons have found it, and it's for all the people who completed everything to fill your rucksack.
Of course, you still have time to finish.
Yes, you do. So if you've either nearly finished or you've finished all your things that are in your rucksack, go over to that thread and post a picture just of your little pile of things that are going to go into your rucksack, and then again we will draw for a winner of that. That will close again on the 1st of January, and then we'll draw for a winner on the 11th, and the winner of that one will get 3 skeins of yarn, hand dyed by me, custom dyed in your favourite colours. Whatever colour you give me, I will then dye up 3 skeins of yarn in the sort of idea that you might want to knit a 3-colour shawl, that kind of thing. And that will be the prize for that.
And as Climb Every Mountain finishes on the 31st of December, there'll be a whole new year-long patron-only knit along, that rhymed, beginning. And we'll talk all about that on the 11th of January in episode 116. And it's truly marvellous.
It is.
Oh, yes. The Advent calendar obviously is continuing.
Yeah.
We've got, it's the 21st today, so we've got the 22nd, the 23rd, the 24th.
23rd, you're going to love. Oh, my goodness.
Seriously,
so
you don't
lovely.
understand.
It's so lovely.
I'm always verging on.
You're always very emotional, but
I was particularly emotional on this.
We had
trip.
a visit somewhere, and it was just such a lovely day, and it's just so nice. I think you'll really enjoy that one.
Yeah, definitely the highlight for me of the whole calendar. Although there's been loads of fun.
Yeah.
But we're very conscious of the fact that between, you know how everything seems to wind down and everything becomes a little bit flat between Christmas and New Year? Well, not with us. Oh no. Yes, 27th, Journey to the Centre of the Yoke.
Yeah.
29th, K begins over 4 days. And it's going to be the first time ever that we've published this series in full on Patreon.
Yeah.
29th, Top 5 Yarns 2015. 30th, Top 5 Yarns 2016. 31st, Top 5 Yarns 2017. And then on the 1st, drum roll please.
Top 5 yarns. Can't do that.
It's the Top 5 Yarns
Of 2018.
Oh yes, who will make the list? They're all on tenterhooks, you know.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think so.
All the yarn producers of the world.
I don't think so.
It's marvellous. And then I'm pretty sure it's 3rd of January Magic Knot tutorial.
Yes.
But then the 4th of January, special surprise for patrons.
Yeah.
It's a reissue of The Pop Show Does Star Wars.
Yes.
That's all I will say.
It's a good one.
Was it fun? Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fancy dresses involved.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else from you?
Oh, yes, I've bought a couple of things.
Lovely.
Would you like to see?
Would you? No? Okay. No, they said no.
Oh, nobody wants to see.
They said yes.
Oh.
They said, please show me, Kay.
Well, the first thing I bought this was inspired by the yarn that I knit that little bookmark with that I said. And I noticed that Eden Cottage Yarns use it as well, that particular base. And she dyed up all these beautiful minis, 20-gram minis in all these lovely colours. And I was like, oh, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 5 colours and like knit some my own striping socks with 5 colours. So I chose 5 really beautiful colours. Look at these in this super sparkly Lurex base. Won't they just make the most beautiful socks you've ever seen in your life? Oh, it's gorgeous. So this base is called Nateby.
Nateby.
Yeah, no, it's just one Nateby.
Okay.
And it's exactly the same. 75% merino, 20% nylon, 5% silver lurex.
And what's this colourway, Kay?
This one is bog myrtle, the pink, lovely pink. You don't like that name?
Well, where I come from, if you say bog, I don't think of a nice yarn colourway.
No. I think they're all flower. Yeah, they're all flowers. He has to bring the tone down.
I've not thought of that in years, but that's what my brothers used to
Yeah, I know,
call.
my brother did too. I'm just off to the bog. It's dreadful, isn't it?
Oh, dear.
I hope there's people out there that know what that reference means.
Carry on.
There will be. So, bog myrtle, I want to say that again. This one is Black Magic Rose.
Bog myrtle. She lived in the bog.
Oh, shush.
Myrtle.
No.
But you know what I mean?
Yes, that was moaning myrtle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. All right.
Sorry.
This is just natural. This is an undyed. We've then got tarn and marigold.
Tarn, that's a Scottish word, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a lake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tarn.
Moss-Eccles
So-
tarn.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's like
Maybe it's not a
like
Scottish
a
word.
little lake.
Must be a
Tarn. No,
word
it's
that's
not.
used
Can't be
everywhere.
Scottish. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these 4 to self-stripe myself. It's not self-striping. I'm going to use these 4 to stripe, and then I'm going to use the purple for the heels and toes. And I think maybe cuffs as well. I think cuffs, heels and toes, 20 grams. You can do it, but it can sometimes be a bit of a stretch, can't it? But if I do a shorter cuff, I'm sure I'll be able to do actually cuffs, heels and toes. I think that'll be lovely. So they're beautiful. Can't wait to do that. And then I purchased 2 skeins of yarn that were actually dyed using the same theme. And I think, yeah, they were.
My goodness.
I think this is so fascinating. I've got a skein from Deb at Fondant Fibre, and she did a special festive colourway that's called Happy Christmas Harry. And then I got a skein from London House Yarns, which is self-striping, that's called Merry Christmas
Boba
Harry.
Fett.
He's called, it does look like Boba Fett, called Merry Christmas Harry, and they're both based on that same scene in the first Harry Potter film where he comes downstairs and Ron says to him, Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas. I'm not sure which of those 2 he says. Somebody will be telling me right now. And he says Merry Christmas to Harry, and it's based on that scene. And I think it's so fascinating how 2 dyers have interpreted it in 2 different ways.
It must
Yet
be
the
Merry
colours,
Christmas.
the colours are that's within there are similar. So Deb's is a variegated in all these beautiful festive colours, and then London House Yarns is a self-striping. But can you see how they are kind of similar with the colours reds and greens and blues and golds? Lovely. So I felt I was just thrilled to get those. And this is a base I haven't used before from Deb. It's an 85-15 superwash extra fine merino and nylon. So I haven't used that before. That's exciting. So I love those.
Is that it?
Yippee. Yes!
Cool! My goodness.
That was packed full of
Jam-packed.
stuff.
Just like
wasn't
our
it?
programming through the holiday season.
Oh, that's an excellent little
I know.
whatever.
Now then.
That looked like me giving birth again.
We'll see you on the 11th of January. Oh, yes. Happy New Year.
Yes.
Have an amazing holiday season.
Yeah. Have a fantastic time, everybody.
Yes.
Relax. Try and relax a bit, which is something that I'm struggling with right now. So I'm wishing that to everyone else.
But patrons, you're stuck with us. We'll see you for the next 3 days on the Advent calendar.
Yeah.
And then you'll see me on the 27th, Kay on the 29th through to the 1st. And the hits just keep on rolling. Oh, yes. So thank you so much for watching. What a year it's been.
We've had a fantastic year. We were only just saying recently, weren't we, that it's been a really great year this year, and we're incredibly grateful to have had a good year.
I wrote an article which I sat down to write one article and a whole other one flooded out of my fingertips. And, you know, it all stemmed from and around a fog lifting which descended on both of us the day I was diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah.
And it lifted this year in the middle of Lake Windermere, and strangely it seemed to lift from both of us at the same time. And it's you know, who knows what the future brings, but actually it doesn't matter.
No.
Because what matters is who's here now. Are you happy? Are you healthy?
Yeah.
And if the answer to those questions is yes.
Yes, then just enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Live in the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm going to live in the moment right now. So have a great Christmas.
Have a great time, everyone.
And we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Enthusiasm's not quitting for Dan and Kay the Bakery Bears. They'll take you to fabulous places of which their favorites they'll share. You better buy a pattern and get yourself a bakery bear. You'll find yourself in a castle while watching the bakery bears. It never feels like a hassle to sit and watch the bakery bears. What's on your shelf or what's in